bunch of loser presidents. I mean, with the Johnson, oh my gosh, what a pig he was. Okay, I liked Jimmy Carter. Okay, I think he's real deal. Ford, I care less. I mean, what the hell was that all about? I mean, in some ways, I guess he was okay. He was just an interim president, right? And then Reagan. I mean, people can just, vaunt the virtues of Ronald Reagan economic policies, but it did not get us on the right track. It didn't help. The banksters basically run roughshod over him and, finagled and got kind of their way, under the guise of we're doing what's best for the economy, nebulous for whose economy? Their own economy, okay? So under Reagan, things really weren't so great. You don't want boom and bust anyhow, okay? You want slow, steady growth across a slow, steady rising of the tide, okay? That's what you want. That's going to lift the boats and this prosperity for everybody. That's what you want. You want the kind that JFK was going to give us. And that Trump, I believe, can give us too. He has the opportunity to be the greatest president in history. If he's allowed to be, I believe he will be. So what? That's it. That's what God is pushing back. It's like Newton's law. For every action, there's an equal, though opposite reaction. And God is reacting. His cup is overflowing with wrath and fury, righteous indignation. And so it's going to come. I mean, have no doubts about it. It's coming. Good is coming to the earth. But it's going to be traumatic for a lot of people. A lot of letting go and say, what? You mean I'm going to lose some power? And, but they don't need that power. That's pseudo power. That's satanic power you had over people. Rich dad, Robert Kiyosaki, and you got to control people. I got to have all this property that I rent, and this is how you can become a multi-billionaire and blah. Who gives a crap? Okay. Do you get your needs met? Do you get all the commodities you want? Are you able to get all the services you want? Are you able to do your dreams? Do them. Okay, but you don't have to amass and hoard all kinds of money. I mean, Satan's ambrosia, and it'd be all invested in this world, this established world, this secular, established, satanic world system, the beast system. Okay, so yeah, it's going to seem traumatic for a lot of people, and they're not. So they might just die. It might be, they're by attrition. God might be taking them out and sending them to hell. Look, you got to go here if you can't understand that. My way and the way of this world are completely different ways. Like oil and water, we cannot coexist. And only one is going to prevail. The good guy is going to win this thing. And this is what's coming to humanity. Okay, so it's coming, folks. And we need to prepare our hearts and minds, our spirits, and just everything for that big sea change to beat the band. I mean, this is not monumental. This is biblical. This is universal. This is like cosmic sea changes we're talking about here. But it's going to work. I firmly, wholeheartedly believe 100% that it will just have peace, harmony, safety, security, prosperity universally for everybody. We'll live in contentment. Okay, that's it. That's it. Joy, all those good things. Free. We're not going to be seeking forms of escapism, beating ourselves, flagellating, trying to run from, this so-called reality that's shoved down all our throats. That's all those things will fall away, I believe. And so anyhow, I believe that we need to tap into that understanding, that instinct, that intuitive nature within all of us that says, I don't want to be stuck here in these muddied and bloodied waters. I want out of confusion, out of Babylon, out of ignorance. So whether we cognizantly think about these, consciously think about these things, or not, makes all the difference in the world. We need to understand that we are stuck in a largely confused unreality. And it's confused intentionally. This disempowers us because we're ignorant for all intents and purposes. And we all know that knowledge is power. So if we don't have pure knowledge and know the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, then we are confused. And when we're confused, we're ignorant. We're disempowered. So understand the rhyme and the reason why things operate this way in this world. It's by deliberation. It's by intent that we're all, screwed up. But when we, deep down in our essence, when we tap into the marrow of our essence, who we really are at innermost being, the conscience and the integrity, the honor, everything that makes us who we are, that we cherish, that we wouldn't sell for any amount of money, then we understand that there's that longing. There'll always be that longing, and it doesn't do any good to fight it, to say, look, I cannot just clear a space in this muddied and bloodied water and say, this is my way out, just by being successful and making a lot of money and finding financial freedom and financial security, being out of fear, financially being out of fear. I can't do it just for myself. I need to work for everybody. This has to be something that is shared. Otherwise, I won't find true happiness, because God is the giver. He's the benefactor, the grantor of true happiness. Okay? That's it. You cannot divorce yourself, separate yourself from your fellow human being, and get away with it. It's that simple. Yet we all try it, don't we? We all rejoice when things go our way, and we're feeling that sense of financial freedom, feeling that sense of financial security. Okay, but we are can't unable to enjoy it, at least to nearly to its measure of prosperity. I mean, prosperity need have nothing to do with money at all. But yet we do, because we have been trained to, we've been inculcated, indoctrinated, brainwashed, programmed, conditioned to be in this little world, this little brute beast, small-minded, short-sighted, narrow-minded world that we are in. And so it's no wonder, it should be no wonder to everybody that, look, we have a hard time. It's tough being human. And, that at least you admit it and you say, I don't want to be confused. I don't want to be ignorant. I want to be empowered. But you can't let it drive you mad. You can't stare into the abyss too long, lest you become the abyss. I forget who said that. Alex Jones is always quoting that. But Nietzsche, I guess it was Nietzsche, I think. But anyhow, yeah, it's a mess. It's a mad world, and it's by design that it doesn't make sense. It's illogical. It's unreasonable. It's unholy. It's ungodly. It's confusing, and it's stupefying, and that we're all trapped in it. We all have to some degree. We all do capitulate. We have to conform to it to some degree, and God knows those that hate it doing that, and those that love doing that. That's the difference between being good and evil. He knows the state of our heart. He knows whether our hearts are pure. And this is what it has to all come down to. We have to understand this is our way. It's that simple. It's a forest for the trees situation, where it seems so obvious, the nuts and bolts and the idea of 2 + 2 = 4 and logic and reason, that it's just, you can't see the forest for the trees. It's right there. It's for all of us. And, we're none of us have more access than another. We're all equal in the sight of God, equally beloved. He's numbered the hairs on all of our heads. It's that agape love, unconditional love. I mean, if you just said, I got to be a mass murderer tomorrow, I mean, he's still going to love us just like any parent, right? You bet a parent of a mass murderer might come out and disown their son in public because they feel like compelled to. They have to be PC. But deep down in their heart, they're always going to love this. I don't know what happened. They snapped. I mean, I still love them. I'll always love them. So is it beyond God's ability to love to the uttermost? His mercy reaches unto the heavens, as it's written, and we should be emulating that, and really trying to win people over to the light, out of the darkness into the light, out of confusion and into knowledge and wisdom and understanding, out of the darkness into the light. It's really very simple. Out of the deceit and into the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And even if it seems traumatic, we have to encourage others to, lift that cross. We've all got to bear our fair share of the weight of this thing. And it is through the empowerment. And then you don't keep it yourself. You've got to share it with somebody else. That's how you get more. That's your way out of the darkness. That's your way over to the clean, clear waters that God is providing for all of us to come into. And, even though we have to sometimes, to some degree, we're stuck in the muddied and bloodied waters. I am. I'm not above anybody. I'm not above, these problems. I have to feed the beast too. But I'm trying to get people to understand the less we feed them, we starve them out, the better. And people have tried it. JFK tried it. But I was talking about all these increments too, and I stopped at Nixon, but it went on. And the next big increment I really remember was, well, we had this home savings and loan scandal, which was good because Bill Black, the regulator, he jailed a lot of these fraudsters. But then, we had a failing when it came to Bill Clinton in office. That's when things went downhill. He was chummed up with the banksters. That's why these people are so well heeled to this day. They are huge traitors, huge quislings, huge backstabbers, betrayers to the people of America. Worst president in history for the working class, poor working class, blue collar people in America. Just a huge sellout. And nothing nice to say about Mr. Slick Willie. And God have mercy on his soul. That's what I'll say. And so him getting rid of the glass